Hey Jen, how do I look behind the wheel of this 1994 Viper?
Well, you look pretty good, but there's something wrong.
What do you mean there's something wrong? It's pristine, look at this thing.
Well, Roman, the wheels are wrong.
The wheels are wrong.
Yeah, these are 5-spoke second-gen wheels for the Viper. These are supposed to be 3-spoke, and they're too big.
Yeah, that is a problem. Jen, I'm so bummed. Is there another problem with this?
Yeah, Roman, these tires are old. The fronts are from 2003 and the rears are from 2001. That's like 15 years too old for this type of car.
That's crazy because a car with no traction control, no stability control, and way too much horsepower probably needs some decent rubber. So in this video, Jen, what are we gonna do?
Well, we're gonna fix all of that. You went through a lot of trouble and you found original 3-spoke 17-inch wheels for this Viper, and with the help of Michelin, we're getting the right tires on it too.
Hey Jen, check out these massive 335 Michelin Pilot Sports. These are the correct tires for the car. They're 17s, but there's something really unique about this Viper and these wheels. You can't swap them from left to right or from front to rear. Why don't you show them? Jen, I was able to find these original Mopar wheels, original OEM wheels that belong on the Viper.
Ooh, look at these beautiful 3-spoke wheels. So this is what you're talking about, where because of this direction of the spokes, you can't really spin these. So there are no rotations happening for this Viper.
So I was able to track these down in Phoenix of all places, and then with the help of Andre's cousin, I had them shipped here to Colorado. Not only are these the OEM wheels that came from, in this case, Mopar, but the guy who sold them to me actually had the OEM, I know this is a weird word, hubcaps, but that's what they are. These little hubcaps that would have came on the original wheels, if you try to find these things, they charge you about 150 bucks for the reproductions. These are the originals. So we're gonna have a completely stock original Viper on 17-inch 3-spoke wheels when the process is done, and I can't wait to drive it.
Now, since we have our tri-spoke wheels installed, we just simply don't need these second-gen 18-inch Viper wheels. If you are interested in them, we are looking to sell them about $3,000 or best offer. Hit us up at info@tflcar.com. That is info@tflcar.com.
All right, everybody. Well, we just did our first drive on these Michelin Pilot Sport tires. And not just any first drive. Case and I actually did a drag race against our new to us C4ZR1. So we have the two heavyweight American sports cars of the 1990s, the first-gen Viper and the C4ZR1, and that video is coming up over at TFL Classics. But thank goodness Jen and the team got the new tires on this Viper, because it made all the difference in the world when it came to hooking up and performance and overall handling. I mean, I think tires are so crucial. Everybody forgets that there's only 4 bits of rubber that attach your vehicle to the ground, right? And tires are critical to any vehicle's performance. And Jen, when you had your mobile tire changing business, did you come across a lot of sports cars on old tires throughout the years?
Well, yes, and it's usually because that they had just bought the vehicle and now they needed new tires on them. But they know that as soon as those tires hit about 4 years, they're no good when it comes to performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Vipers specifically is tires are one of those things that you just assume are really easy to replace and relatively affordable consumables, right? Because it's, it's a very common thing for you to swap tires on your car. But on certain cars, especially from this vintage, tires can be extremely expensive and hard to find. And let's talk about the rear tire on this first-gen Dodge Viper. So the size on these is insane. So it's a 335 width, right? Now, 335 is a tire size that you can get in some modern performance cars, right? Really high-end McLarens and Porsches and that thing. They will have tires that are 315, 335. The problem is the aspect ratio and the wheel size, because did you remember what size wheels this thing is on?
These are 17s.
Yeah, so a 335 width wheel on a 335 width tire, on a 17-inch wheel makes these rare as hen's teeth. And if you go to like Tire Rack, if you go to any of the tire suppliers and look up tires for a first-gen Viper, there is maybe 1 or 2 options. And this Michelin Pilot Sport, thank goodness you can still get. Otherwise, you're in really big trouble. This is something people don't consider about like these older sports cars and supercars is, yes, people talk about the maintenance and the reliability, but getting tires for these things is becoming really, really difficult because it's such a wide tire on such a small wheel. Now, of course, the wide tire thing, like we talked about, you can get a wide tire in a 20 or a 21 or a 22-inch wheel because that's what modern sports cars are doing. But when you get to this era, especially these kind of specific one-off sports car things, it becomes really, really hard to find tires. But we want to talk about one other thing, because back here, you'll notice we are missing one of the center caps. And Jen, you want to kind of explain what we had to go through here?
So we found that the original to us wheel lugs that came on this had a locking lug nut. So that was actually too long for us to actually put the center cap on. So we had to go out and buy a new lug, an open-ended lug that was a little shorter.
Looks so sad.
It does look sad. However, these metal center caps typically have a little bit more issue going on than your typical plastic caps because it's metal on metal. There's not as much flexibility. So we are having a little bit of issue getting this one installed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a look at it. There's like a little locking ring, looks like, that kind of clips into this groove. And we're gonna kind of see if we can kind of bend it around a little bit to get it to actually fit where it's supposed to be. But Jed, do you like the 3-spoke wheel design?
Oh yeah. I mean, and the only way this could have been even better was if they were yellow.
Yeah.
You know, the classic mustard ketchup, the McDonald's Viper from the 90s. But I still love this silver. I love that it's actually not chrome, it's just silver. I mean, these are spectacular. You hardly ever see 3-spoke wheels.
What's cool about these too is my dad found these new in box. I'm sure you showed this already, but like they genuinely came in the original Mopar Chrysler Corporation box. Now these 3 spokes, I always thought they were awesome, but it turns out a lot of people online don't like them, which I think is crazy because it's like peak 1990s.
I know.
You know, how 90s is a Viper with these little McDonald's style wheels. So I think that it's great that we were able to find these, but I think the reality is a big reason you see a lot of these early Vipers not on the original wheels is not because people necessarily hate the design, but it just comes down to finding those rubbers, right? Finding the tires that'll fit. So you see a lot of these on 20s and 19-inch wheels because that's what you can get in a 335 width tire. So I think that as a whole, I'm really excited that we were able to put some fresh meat on this Viper because these cars have such a bad reputation for spinning people off the road. And this is a classic case. I see this all the time in this world where like this car was meticulously cared for by the previous owner, full maintenance history, oil changes every 6 months even though he never drove the car. It lived under a car cover. It was perfect. But then the rubber was, what was the date code on the back tires?
2001 on the back tires.
So like, if you're gonna maintain a car to such a high degree, please don't forget the tires, right? I mean, it's great that the engine's making all 400 horsepower, that's awesome. But if it's going through hockey pucks on the rear end, that's a real safety hazard. So anyway, it's great that we were able to get this thing ready to go. It feels, it drives so much better. We got a little bit of that wheel wobble out of there too. I think the original tires were kind of square, so on the highway it's nice and smooth now. It's tracking better. The ride is better, a lot better. Not only have we gone to an 18 to a 17, but we actually have some deflection in the sidewall now, so that's awesome. And then if you want to see the video comparing the Viper against the C401, which we checked is also on pretty fresh rubber, thank goodness, head over to TFL Classics. But Jen, thank you for making this happen. I really appreciate it.
But of course, we need good tires on this Viper.
We sure do. And a big thank you to Michelin for supplying us these tires. And head over to alltfl.com if you want the latest and greatest in tire reviews, but also in 1990s performance car drag races. We'll see you next time.